Hey everyone, in this video I'll be talking to you about why women like bad boys. So I'll pretty much be delving into female psychology for why they find these things attractive, and also just providing a list of qualities that men can aspire to incorporate into their own life to be more attractive to women while avoiding all the negative aspects of bad boys. So the first quality here is that bad boys are confident. Women love confidence. I mean, we all pretty much know that. We've all heard that, right? But why do women like that? It's because it shows that the man is capable of leading, that he's grounded, that he knows what he desires in life, and that he's not going to be knocked off course. Women love those qualities, especially a man who can lead, because women don't want a man who's always going to be supplicating to her, that whenever she asks, or basically a guy who's always asking her, where should we eat? They want a man who will basically give her a list of options, and if she can't decide, he'll pick one for both of them. That's what they want, because they don't want a guy who's always going to be basically wishy-washy or unsure about where he can take his woman. They want to be led on experiences, on adventures that they haven't gone on before. So they want a man who's capable of leading him or leading her on those adventures. So women love confidence. Now on to the next thing. Bad boys know what they want. Yet again, women find that incredibly attractive because like confidence, it basically shows that he knows what he desires in life, so that when he lands on something, he'll be able to pursue that. For instance, as we all pretty much know, when bad boys are attracted to a specific woman, he's going to pursue her with everything that he has. And if they desire a certain hobby that they enjoy, they're going to spend a lot of time on that. Basically, if they're passionate about something, they're going to go after that thing with everything that they have. They're going to spend a lot of time on it, even if that means putting that passion before their woman. Yet again, that also makes them very attractive and ties in with the next thing. Bad boys do not put women on pedestals. This one is huge because it means that, one, they're not going to basically fall into that stupid ideology that all women are little innocent princesses like Cinderella, so they're not going to believe in that crap. But two, it means that they're not going to put their women before everything else in their life, because that is incredibly unattractive. In fact, I don't understand why our society has all these things in entertainment and just all this conditioning when we're growing up that acts like doing this is a good thing. You should never put your partner as your number one priority in life. I know that that sounds romantic to do, but it's not a good thing at all, because that means that you're putting them before yourself, which is a huge problem, but it also means that you could be putting them before other things that are very important to you, like your family or your career. It's important that first and foremost you always make yourself your number one priority in life, because you're going to be going through your entire life in your own company, so you should be your main priority. There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean you're self-centered or narcissistic. No, those qualities only are a thing if you literally don't care about other people anymore. But as long as you keep putting yourself first and still genuinely caring about others, that's not self-centered or narcissistic at all. It just means you literally respect yourself enough to take care of yourself. So it's important that you make yourself your main priority. And then, yet again, it's healthy to put your family or your career before your partner as well. I don't understand why even those things are almost frowned upon for putting them in front of your partner, as if they can't be important as well. If you have a good family and were raised well, it only makes sense that you put them before your partner, because they're your OGs. They're the people who raised you. They're the people who will be there for you through thick and thin, even if your partner ends up leaving you at some point. So yet again, it makes sense to put them as like your number two or number three in life. And then your career. If your career is literally tied to your passions or even your life purpose, yet again, it makes sense to put that before your partner. So there are so many reasons why you shouldn't put your partner as your number one priority in life. And if you pedestalize women, you're probably going to make her your number one priority, which means you're going to start cowing down to her and making sacrifices for her, which in some cases, of course, that's warranted. I mean, we all know relationships require sacrifice to stand the test of time, but those sacrifices should never be too big. Like, you shouldn't sacrifice yourself for her. You shouldn't sacrifice your relationship with your closest family members and friends for her. And you shouldn't sacrifice your career for her either. There are extents to what is a good sacrifice. And those things you should never sacrifice for anyone. So it's just important that you do not pedestalize women. And that's something that bad boys do easily, and it makes them very attractive to women. So now, on to the next thing, which pretty much ties into the last one. Don't let women walk all over you. That's something that bad boys are very good at because they have strong boundaries and they just don't tolerate women overstepping those boundaries. They have the confidence knowing that they can get other women, so if one woman oversteps their boundaries, they're going to kick her to the curb and go after other women. This abundance mentality is what makes them be able to not let women walk all over them. And this is also the reason why so many nice guys let women do this behavior to them, because they don't have that abundance of women. They feel like when one woman enters their life, that's the only option they have, so they're gonna let her do whatever she wants, thinking that that's gonna make her stick around, but all it's gonna do is make her actually disrespect him, because she's going to overstep all his boundaries and realize that he doesn't have self-respect enough to stop her from doing that. So she's going to take advantage of that and then lose a ton of attraction for him and likely end up leaving. So it's actually in your own interest to protect your boundaries. It makes you more attractive to women, and it also just means that they're going to treat you better because you're not going to tolerate any mistreatment. It's so ironic how this behavior plays out, where nice guys think that letting women overstep their boundaries will actually make the woman stick around, because it doesn't. It does the opposite. Think about this. It makes her lose respect for him. And when you lose respect for someone, there's another thing that ends up happening. You can't really love them anymore, right? Can you love someone that you don't respect? No, that's not possible. Respect and love go hand in hand. So if she can't respect him, she can't love him. And with that, she's going to lose a ton of attraction for him and likely end up leaving. So it's in your best interest to not let women walk all over you and just uphold your boundaries. That doesn't mean being a dick or being mean to her. It just means having healthy boundaries and not letting her walk all over them. You can do that in very respectful and confident ways, where you first off have to communicate your boundaries to her. That's very important. She won't be able to read your mind. But once you've done so, if she oversteps one of them, you can just bring it up and say, hey, that's not cool. I told you that was one of my boundaries. Please don't do that again. Otherwise, it may end up like ruining what we have going on here, because I'm not going to tolerate a woman who doesn't respect me. And if you respect me, then you're not going to walk over my boundaries. You just have to communicate. And then once you've done that, you'll notice that the relationship will be a lot better going forward. But anyway, on to the next thing here. Bad boys aren't afraid to be sexual. This is a huge one, because this is one of the main problems with nice guys. They hide this side of them. They repress it because they think that it's something to be ashamed of. I mean, I know this. I used to be that way myself. It's just the way we're conditioned in Western societies, because there's that religious influence where they act like sex is just this horrible thing. And I understand why that influence is there, because they don't want people just going out there and racking up a huge body count, because there are problems with that. There's a psychology there where it makes it harder for you to pair bond long term, which that's a topic for another video, but there's merit in it. But there's also problems, because it makes it so people are afraid to express their sexuality at all. Like, they literally will just shove it down. And when you do that, that's very unattractive to women, because it's almost childlike. It shows that you don't have the confidence to even basically lead her on a fun experience in the bedroom. Because that's another thing that all women want. Even the most innocent women out there, they want this. They're just hiding that side of them as well. But you can coax it out of them if you know how to. So it's important that you become in tune with this side of you. Everybody on the planet freaking has it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. We all have a sexual side to us. It's really ridiculous how society's conditioned us to think of this as wrong, Because, I mean, we all freaking have it. Like, the hell? You're born with it. It's in your nature. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But anyway, that's just another thing that bad boys have that women very much find attractive. Bad boys are in tune with this side of them. They don't think of it as a bad thing. They're not afraid to talk dirty to women. They're not afraid to hit on women. And those are all very attractive things. Now, onto the final quality here. They're difficult to tame. This is an interesting one because it can sound like a bad thing, but women actually like chasing a man who they feel like they can't tame. There's a reason for this because usually bad boys are very much desirable, or desired, should I say, by other women. And with that, there's this social proof that he has value because one woman will look at him and see that all these other women want him, and they'll say, holy crap, if they all want him, he must have some sort of value to him. And just the fact that he has an abundance of options means that it's going to be more difficult to tame him, to lock him down, because you're going to have to be a step above the other women in his life in order for him to sacrifice all of them for you. Do you see what I mean here? It's basically where when he has all these options, it's going to be difficult to rope him down because he's got an abundance. And when you have a ton of options, you kind of want to keep them all going. I mean, even women are like that. When women have like 3 guys they're seeing at any given time, they want to keep it that way for the most part, unless one of them really stands out to her. And that's pretty much the same way bad boys are, although they take it to like the nth degree because guys in general aren't usually, especially if they have a ton of options, they're not usually willing to give up all of that for one woman. Even if she's great, they're just not going to want to give up that freedom. It's just something that all men pretty much have. They have that desire for freedom. So that's going to make him very difficult to tame, which is going to be very attractive to a woman for those reasons I mentioned, that social proof. He is a desirable man to a bunch of other women, and they want that. They want a man who is wanted by other women. It's kind of like, even in some cases, this is a bit more unhealthy, but some women will even want the idea of a man that they can't have. So if he's almost untamable in that regard, they'll enjoy the chase. But that one is a bit more unhealthy. There are some insecurities driving that behavior. So that's why I didn't really mention that before. It's more so just they want a man who is wanted by other women. There is just something about that, and it'll allow them to know that they have this guy who so many other women want, but he didn't choose any of those women, he chose her. And there's attractiveness there. So bad boys being a bit more difficult to tame makes them more attractive to women. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about in this video. That's the female psychology that is pretty fun to delve into. I love talking about it. It's a very interesting subject. And just to summarize those qualities again, they are: bad boys are confident, they know what they want, they don't put women on pedestals, they don't let women walk all over them, they aren't afraid to be sexual, and they're difficult to tame. All these things combined make them very attractive to women. And these are all things that you can combine in your own life to be more attractive to women. I mean, none of these things are inherently a negative quality. So you can actually take the good parts of a bad boy, combining them with the good parts of a nice guy, and you can become pretty much what I would like to call the true alpha male, or the true extraordinary gentleman that will set you apart from all other men out there, because you won't be afraid to be sexual, you'll be confident, you won't be pedestalizing women, but at the same time you'll be respectful to women, you'll have integrity, you'll be kind to people, you'll be a good guy, you'll just be a confident badass at the same time. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to support me, the easiest thing you can do is just like this video, or comment, or follow. All those things are enough. But anyway, I truly hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci!